Hi everyone, my name is Scott and thank you for visiting. Hi everyone, my name is Scott. No. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Here at the Puget Hobbyist, my goal is to just share my experiences and hopefully you can share your experiences with me as well and we'll both learn together. I've been keeping fish for 4 years. If you're on YouTube and you're looking for fish content, maybe it's safe to say you're trying to learn a little bit, whether you're a beginner or immediate, maybe even an expert. But if we were to start at the beginning as a beginner, then I think I might have a little story that will ring true to some of you. So in February 2017, I was gifted a betta. His name was Jules, and I'll be sure to include some pictures of him because I don't think I've ever, actually I know I've never seen a betta like him since. He was all gold with beautiful blues and greens and oranges. He was a beautiful fish, but I received him as a Valentine's gift from my girlfriend at the time. When she gave me that fish, it was just in a little bowl about this big, and I know some of you may have some experience with a situation like that, but he was in this little bowl, and I thought he was cute. You know, he was all pale, and he was not a happy fish. I had him set up on my desk, and I put a little rock. I collect rocks. I kind of like rock hound around when I go on hikes and stuff, so I put a little rock in there with him, and it was a really cool little rock. It had like a hole in it, so you know, I think he kind of liked that. He'd kind of try to hide himself in there, and sometimes he'd poke through and say hi. If you're familiar with bettas, you know they have a ton of personality. Anyway, so I'm sitting there with this little betta in his little bowl, no filter, no heater, no plants, and the bowl was probably maybe a quarter of a gallon, if that. I'd never kept fish before. I had been around tanks. My father kept a tank for a short while, and while I lived with him, I'd often gaze in at his tank. I remember he had a couple of Cosmos in his, what I'm assuming is probably a 55 gallon, if I remember correctly, and how big it was. And he had gouramis in there as well. I remember them being kissing gouramis because I remember watching them kiss. But anyway, I had never had fish before, and I didn't know what they required, so I decided I'd get on Google, get on YouTube, do a little research. It's not a new story for bettas to just be plopped in a bowl with maybe nothing else and expected to survive and thrive, and you know, oftentimes they don't, not in that situation. So after a little bit of research, you know, within a week, I'd scoured Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and all that, and within a week I had a big 12 gallon, it was a Fluval Edge 12 gallon, so it was kind of a, it's one of those ones that are tall, much taller than it is wide, kind of like a column tank. Now it looks really cool. Me being a new hobbyist, I liked the way it looked. It looked so cool. Kind of looks like a floating tank because it's got a base and it's got a top, and it looks like this tank is just kind of hovering in between. Anyway, I got him in there. I got some plants planted, and I watched him thrive. And that was a wonderful experience for me. And that's thanks to you, all the internet community around fish. And that's what I want to perpetuate around here. Because even after 4 years of pretty much every day obsessing about my fish and getting online and learning new things and looking for new content, you know, I still see the same questions being asked. And that's because there's still new generations of fish keepers being born and coming of age every day. And when I think about my experience, at 31 years of age, I honestly had no idea what was required to keep fish. I didn't know anything about the nitrogen cycle. I didn't know about stocking rules. I didn't know about filtration media, substrate, plants, decor, algae, water changes, you know, species and their traits, what gets along well in a community, what doesn't. I didn't even know how to look at your fish and kind of make a reasonable assessment as to how happy they were. I think there's a lot of people out there right now who are giving us the content we need to educate beginners, intermediates, and experts alike. What I want to do here with my channel is just kind of, maybe almost like a log. It kind of shows you, this is where I'm at in my hobby. These are the things I notice. These are some tips that I don't see being shared enough. Oh, and with that, I'd like to invite you to my first video series. This video series is going to be about my first ever guppy colony. I 4 years, never had guppies. Now I did have a couple endlers in a heavily planted 20 long, not long after I got into the hobby. Those endlers eventually went to a local guy who actually sold me plants. But this is the first time having a tank dedicated to guppies and breeding them. And I'm not necessarily doing it for profit at this point. I'm doing it more for interest, and I'm actually doing it for desire of a specific color more. It's like, you know what? I want to breed my own beautiful endler guppies, and I've already seen it's been about 4 months since I started this colony, and I've already seen just some really amazing color morphs coming out of this colony. It's astounding. I see some in there that kind of look like tuxedos, like koi tuxedos. I've seen some in there that kind of look like silver Eldorados, which is really interesting because none of the fish that I started this generation with had that kind of coloration or pattern. And then making new coloration and new patterns is just going to be tons of fun. So follow me here on this channel and follow that new series on my guppy colony in order to get updates. I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. If you liked this video, please like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you can see videos when they're coming up. And most importantly, drop a comment below. And I hope you all have a lovely day.